It is a very impressive geophysical phenomenon that produces the loudest light and the loudest sound. Um, as we know, it's very prevalent in the summer months, and for Jamaica, that actually means that it's also prevalent in our hurricane season. It may cause direct effects or indirect effects, and the direct effects are usually due to the effects of the current. The indirect effects are the associated injuries that are involved. These may include multi-system injuries, neurological injuries, both immediate or delayed, burns, and depending on where you are and what happened in the middle of when you were struck by lightning, if you had trauma, you may have blunt trauma. And the blunt trauma may, as you can imagine, affect any system. When we are responding, we need to ensure that we have the chain of survival involved. You need to get early response. You need to call for help. If it is that the person has had a cardiac or a respiratory arrest, we need to manage that early because you can resuscitate the patient. And typically, the individuals who are affected are young and those who do not have any cardiac problems. So with early resuscitation, you can get a positive outcome, and this means the person does not have to die, right? In terms of the resuscitation, we're going to use this typical airway and cervical spine control. And I'm going to stress on this. Sometimes you have persons who have been struck by lightning and they have fallen. If they have fallen, they potentially have, and depending on how they fall, of course, you may have injury to your cervical spine. So we need to take care in terms of when we're resuscitating them and when we're moving them to ensure that the appropriate spinal immobilization techniques are borne in mind. If they're not breathing, we'll have to breathe for them. If it is that we need to restart the heart because the heart has stopped, we can do this by external chest compressions or by the use of a defibrillator and defibrillating the patient. You may realize that there are quite a few automatic external defibrillators placed in strategic areas across the country. They're relatively simple to operate, and usually when you have an AED present, whoever has it, if you're trained to use it, I'm going to ask that if the situation requires, right, go ahead and do so as per instruction. You need to pay attention to the weather forecast. We all know that the Meteorological Office of Jamaica issue weather forecasts. We really need to pay attention to them. If you hear thunder, you are in striking distance of lightning. If there's a thunderstorm, the safest place to be is within a well-constructed building, right? Away from water. So this is not the time that you really should be running pipes, washing, having a bath. You need to be out of water. Water is a good conductor of electricity, and if you're indoors and touching water, you may have a problem. You need to stay away from electrical wires. You need to stay away from all electrical devices. If you're outdoor, the most dangerous place that you can find yourself in is at the highest point, or at something, beneath something or an object that will translate to be at the highest point. In other words, standing under a tree or a very tall tree is not the place for you to be in the middle of a lightning storm, right? If you can move indoors, please do. If you are in a body of water, remember, water is a very good conductor of electricity. You need to come out of the water, be it pool, river, stream, any body of water. Stay away from water. If you happen to notice that your hair stands on ends, for a matter of speaking, the advice is to actually crouch down low as you can, go on your tippy toes, cover your eyes and cover your earlobes, basically curl up into a ball and on your tippy toes, right? So you're as low to the ground as possible with as little contact with the actual ground as possible. If you're in a vehicle, you need to roll the windows up. Do not touch the outer frame of the vehicle, and the vehicle should be grounded. The exception is a convertible. If you happen to be in a convertible, whether it's flat top, soft top, hard top, please come out of the convertible and find an appropriate area. It's not a good place to be. If you are a victim of lightning, please seek medical attention, or if you observe somebody who is a victim of lightning, get medical attention to them, right? It is actually very safe to touch the victim. Call for help. The lightning victims can be revived using cardiopulmonary resuscitation. If you are trained in CPR, and that's cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and the situation is such where this is what is needed, go ahead, right? But it's for the trained person. And with that, stay out of water, away from electrical wires, seek appropriate shelter, and listen to the Met Office. When the Met Office has issued a bulletin, take heed. Thunderstorms may have lightning with it. Severe weather in terms of that may come with the risk of lightning. If you hear thunder, lightning can strike you and you are within striking distance.